What you are about to see is an account of the tragedy which befell a group of 5 youths.
Whoa! That's funny.
For them, an idyllic summer afternoon
Is anybody home?
became a nightmare.
What's wrong with you people?
The events of that day were one of the most bizarre crimes of American history. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Rated R.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Why Won't You Die, a horror podcast. Shouts out to all the Flix Talkers out there. If you guys are watching this on YouTube, I do host my podcast with Q Reviews on the Flix Talk network, basically, man, because we got a whole huge community over here. But today we're talking specifically horror on Why Won't You Die, a horror podcast. We got Q Reviews, and we also have special guest Mac movie reviews. So what's going on, Mac?
Not much. Thank you for having me on. I know that you let's do reboots, and then you're like Texas Chainsaw, and I love Texas Chainsaw. I was like, I gotta get on this because I got a lot to say about this one out, and it's good things. We're going to do good things.
Okay, definitely. So before, well, let me actually introduce Q. I'm so sorry, man. Q, I didn't forget about you, brother.
Oh,
you're in the back. I see you. How's your day going, Q?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm doing pretty good. Watched some Texas Chainsaw Massacre this morning. Played the game, so I'm all fired up, son. You know what I'm saying? So I'm ready.
You guys are big on the game.
Oh,
yeah, big on the game.
The game is crazy, bro. It is just like the movie, but it's based on the 78 game so far, you know, the 78 movie. I mean, so you got those 3 characters, and you got a couple new characters. You just don't let them leave the farm or whatever. It's different levels. So, but the family house, we take it real personal. Like no one can leave this property at all because they can get out through the back. They can get out through the back battery. They can go out through the front gate like the movie and shit. You're chasing them down the thing like chainsaw. So yeah, it's insane. I'm pretty addicted to it too because like he was talking about the Friday 13th game. That's how me and my friend Pete made. So we used to really play that one too a whole lot. And this is from the same people who make that one. So yeah, it's they got the sound down to the damn chainsaw sounding up the exact chainsaw model. Everything is like playing the movie. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I was saying, I only play as killers, and I'm like, why play as victims when I can be a killer? You know.
There you go. Are you trying to say something, man? Do we gotta like search your hard drive in the future, or where's the body hidden? Is where what I'm trying to get to. No, I'm kidding.
Oh man.
You're leaving the bread. You're leaving the breadcrumbs for someone on Netflix to make a documentary about you, man, or something. But we are here, guys, talking about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2003, because this whole month of April 2024, we are going to be talking about remakes or reboots, reimagining. I think Scream really kind of set it off with all these requels and try to even Blumhouse's Halloween and what you can incorporate and take from future, past properties, past lore, and incorporate it into something new. And I got a couple of copies here of the original that we had talked about, Texas Chainsaw, and Texas Chainsaw, just on Blu-ray. I don't have the 4K yet. Do you guys have the 4K by any chance?
I do not. I love that one with the Leatherface on there. The one with the rare one. I love that. I found this fire, my bro.
Thank you, man. This is the 40th anniversary. I found this at actually like a new and used like a physical media store out here, and they sold to me for like $5.
Wow, nice.
But I looked it up, and I think it is out of print. But I try to grab my hands, on as many copies as I can. I'm a hoarder when it comes to like, if I like a movie, like Scott Pilgrim versus the World, I have like 4 copies of that movie. It's crazy. I don't know. I hoard up. But today we are talking about the 2003 version. And before we get into our thoughts, guys, would you call this a remake of a movie? What do you think, Q?
Yes, absolutely, it's a remake. Yeah. But it's his own thing too. Yeah, but like it's a remake of it's the same idea, the same principles. You know what I'm saying? Some of the same filmmakers worked on this one. That's the first one. I think the cinematographer. But yes, definitely.
Oh, I don't even know that.
Yeah. The same cinematographer shot the 78 one, shot this 2003 one. Different director, but yeah. This is definitely a remake, though. You know what I'm saying? Because they take, I'm pretty sure we get into it though. But like, it's not a shot for shot remake like Psycho was with Vince Vaughn. I was like, man, y'all just literally did the same movie and made it worse. this takes a lot of different liberties. They, you know what I'm saying? They do a lot of stuff different in this film that they don't do in, you know what I'm saying, in the first movie. You got a lot more family members, you know? Yeah, but your core one is there, Leatherface, but like the police officer is different. So
they definitely made it their own. Yeah, they made it their own.
Yeah, absolutely. They made it their own. So a little bit, a lot of stuff different happens in this one, which I appreciate, because I would have been pissed off if I would have seen the same movie I seen
shot for shot.
Shot for shot in 78. Like, I mean, in 2003, you already know you can't do that. It's gonna fail. It's gonna fail miserably. You know what I'm saying? So don't do that. I'm glad they took their own liberties, but I think it's still a remake. What do you think? What do you guys think?
What do you think,
I'd say it's definitely a remake, because I feel like I'd say it's like a remake / reboot, but I'd say lean more remake because it keeps the same elements as the original one, like the main character, Erin Hardesty. Obviously, that's just the term for Sally Hardesty, and that was Marilyn Monroe's character from the original film. So I feel like that they're like, okay, we're going to make this our own, but we're going to tell like a different story with that. And I really liked what they did here, because I feel like with this one, they made it a remake and then they retold the story. It's so confusing, but I consider it a remake in my opinion.
Yeah. Okay, I kind of
I want to interject. We do it really quick. Like the Planet of the Apes with the Caesar one, that's a reboot. You know what I'm saying? That's not the same shit. You know what I'm saying? They still got the same concept, but like it's a whole, everything's new. You know what I'm saying? The Caesar dynamic is new. I don't even remember those movies. You know what I'm saying? But like you can tell that's their own thing. So I would say that's a reboot, if that makes any sense. I don't want to make it confusing, but this was sort of like that too. Yeah.
No, I agree with it being like in that reboot remake territory, because I kept like just kind of debating in my head, because I do like this movie overall, but there was a lot of elements that I wish they would have left in from the original that made it terrifying, because terrifying things do happen in this remake for me. But there's something about this original where they don't show a lot. We talked about this, Q, before when we were talking about the original. They don't show a lot. Just like Halloween, they didn't show you a lot. But at the time you saw it, you were like terrified. And you're like, why? How is this Hitchcock phenomenon happening where they're not showing much, but you're being terrified? And I think they kind of flipped the script for a modern audience for this one, because we know in the early 2000s, remakes were going crazy. I mean, they had this one, they had Omen, they had The Hills Have Eyes, stuff like that, you know, and it seemed like things were getting bloodier in the 2000s, like, you know, especially early 2000s. Things were getting a lot more gory and kind of, excuse me, pushing the edge, the envelope a little bit. And they still have Tobe Hooper attached as a writer, which is good. But they definitely made it their own. That's why I didn't mind some of the revisions of the scenes, like the dinner table scene, which we'll get into, which is not here. It's not in this movie, you know, for whatever reason. I don't know. They maybe they didn't think it was that terrifying for modern audiences. Maybe they did film a scene and it didn't test well. You know, there's a lot of those test well scenes that they kind of cut out, trim out because the reaction wasn't there. But I like that this one was kind of true to nature, just being a scary, terrifying chainsaw, Leatherface. I mean, how many of the sequels from back in like the 80s were garbage, bro? I mean, they were like, I don't know what they were trying to do with Leatherface, but I don't want to give too many spoilers, but they were taking them in a different direction, man.
I mean, you didn't like the one with Matthew McConaughey when he was Wilmer and he was just screaming all over the place. He just
Next Generation.
Yes, that is my favorite one out of just pure comedy. It is so funny bad. I love it.
With Renee Zellweger in it too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wasn't that like some of their first movies?
Yeah. I think so. Yeah.
It was the first couple.
Yep. They were just coming up into their own. Like she had maybe did Jerry Maguire at the time, but I don't know.
What's funny is that I read about Matthew McConaughey. His agent said that he accused the producers of typecasting him because he did Dazed and Confused. So he did the scene. He was like, all right. And he walked in and it's like, I was like, wow. I'm like, okay, he's a Texas boy. He's from Texas. Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah.
Let it happen.
We'll let it slide. I still like that one way better than that last one on Netflix. I'm just going to put that out there.
Oh, man. You know what's interesting is I don't know how frequent you guys are on Twitter, but there is like a resurgence for the 2022 version, right? Is that what 2022? Of Texas, or I think they dropped the. I think it's just Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Chainsaw Massacre, yeah.
There's some weird resurgence where people are like, yo, let's, no, there's a resurgence for people who are like, let's give it up. This movie was actually good. And I'm like, Who's rallying that they like this movie?
We watched a different movie. I don't know what the hell they talking about. That movie was hot ass.
Even the thing they keep going back to the bus scene where everyone gets killed, or at the end. Well, I'm already giving spoilers, whatever, if you haven't seen it. When our main character gets her head cut off, a few good kills or a few cool scenes does not make your movie amazing. Come on, don't give me that shit. I don't know.
No, and those characters were the most fucking annoying characters. I wanted them all to die immediately. Like, usually, you want the people to die, but I really wanted them to die. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I can't stand these. Like, I don't know. I'm not picking on anyone generation or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like in that new one, though. But they were fucking annoying and shit. Like, what are you doing here? You know, we'll get more into it too, though. Like, it's always the teenager's fault, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck are you doing in Leatherface's house? Why would you walk into these people's fucking house and you don't know what's going on?
The premise was really bad, I thought too. The story itself wasn't leading to anything that and they tried to tie it town. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, they try to tie it into. They try to basically make it a sequel. This is supposed to be a sequel of the original, right?
Yeah, they do the Halloween thing. Yeah.
Old man Leatherface did not do it.
The second time they did it, because they tried it with the 2013 movie with Alexander Daddario, and they tried to make her like her cousin, even though like the timeline didn't make sense for her being a baby in 1978. And then with it being 2013, she was in her 40s, but Alexander Daddario was like in her 20s. And I remember when Akon was in that one, and it was
Trey Songz. That's not one of Trey Songz.
Trey Songz. Yeah, Trey Songz is in that one, 2013. Because that one was like that part in that movie where she kicked the chainsaw and it was like, "Do you think?" Cause I'm like, oh no,
God,
what is happening?
I forced myself to forget that movie, but I know exactly. It's Texas Chainsaw 3D. That's what it was.
That was hard to find, dude. They don't even want to show people that piece of shit.
This one had Bill Moseley in it. I can't believe. Yeah. Scott Eastwood. I mean, you got some pretty good stars in here, but what the fuck were they thinking? You know, 19% on Rotten Tomatoes.
But with the Texas Chainsaw 2003, when you mentioned with the gore, I will agree with you. The gore is like great, and with the original one, it's always interesting how effective it is when you don't see the violence in it. But like with this one, they're just like full on, like you'll see people getting limbs cut off and everything like that. And if you think about it too, with the timeline you mentioned in the early 2000s, like this is a full year before Saw. Like the only other ones we had that were kind of violent were like, I know what you did last summer in the Scream movies, but like gore didn't really. Yeah, the gore started here, and then a year later we got Saw, and then the year later we had Hostel. So we were in the store for this. I was like, damn, but they did a good job with the gore.
Great point, bro.
Yeah, you're great point. You're actually right. I'm really trying to like remember like some of the movies of the 2000s, because let me see, horror movies of the early 2000s, because
it's crazy.
It seems like such a long time ago, but we definitely had some movies that we were checking out that were either hits or misses. Let's see. So we got American Psycho. I mean, that's a given, but that's not really a horror movie. We have Ginger Snaps. I never saw that. Final Destination was around that time.
Not too gory, but it's
Scream 3, Hellraiser Inferno. Okay, I don't know if we should talk about that, but Cabin Fever was around that time.
Cabin Fever is good. That's Eli Roth, right? Yeah,
that was his first.
The Grudge.
The Grudge remake. The Descent was really good actually too.
I love The Descent.
Yeah, I love The Descent. Oh my god, that's a gory one too.
Yeah, there was a couple of gems in there. How can we forget Dawn of the Dead with Zack Snyder?
Oh,
that was 2004. That was 2004.
Wow. Yeah.
So
2000s.
And another one too. I forgot to wear I should have worn my Jason shirt. Friday the 13th, the remake in 2009 was actually the same director that directed this movie.
I saw that.
Yeah,
that one's like a guilty pleasure for me.
I like it.
Me too.
I'm a huge Friday 13th fan. I only had a problem when Jason kidnapped the girl and had her in the basement. Like Jason, I grew up with Jason all my life. Like Jason wouldn't do that shit, bro. He's not gonna kidnap someone. You know what I'm saying? Because it looked like his mother. No, he don't know any better. He's gonna kill her.
Real quick,
kill her.
Hey, you said Jason wouldn't do that. I was listening to a podcast where they were talking about Halloween and they're talking about Michael Myers. Isn't it funny? And I totally forgot this part, that in Halloween 2018, when he's about to kill those podcasters, he drops those teeth over the bathroom, and I'm like, I remember in that moment, I'm like, Michael would not do that.
Yeah, he wouldn't do that. No,
that was such a weird part.
He would do the other one when he killed the old people, when he kept grabbing the knife like this, boom, and like looking at his work. Yeah. Remember that? Like this? Like that's Michael Myers. That's like some shit Michael Myers would do. I don't know about dangling the teeth and shit.
I'm a morbid person, and the part when they turned on the light, he just smashed the light, that made me laugh for no reason. Like, good God. It's just funny. I'm like, there's so many unintentional, like, funny moments within horror movies. I'm like, man, I don't know if I'm wrong to laugh at this, but this is kind of funny.
No. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, but let's get into it, guys. So this is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre from 2003, obviously lifting off of the original. So after picking up a traumatized young hitchhiker, 5 friends find themselves stalked and hunted by a deformed chainsaw-wielding loon and his family of equally psychotic killers. So once again, I like some elements of this as far as incorporating some of the family members and whatnot. So let's get over this. Go over this cast, guys. We have Jessica Biel as Erin. We have Jonathan Tucker as Morgan, who I'm gonna just jump ahead. He's one of my least favorite characters. We have Erica Lerston as Pepper. We have Eric Balfour as Kemper and Mike Vogel as Andy. Oh, also the sheriff was played by Arlie Ermy, who I love, man. Oh my God, rest in peace, dude. But he did a I believe he died.
He died like 2018.
Yeah, you got it, bro. 2018.
I didn't even know that. Okay.
Yeah. Oh my God, dude. Like he was an actual like drill sergeant. Mm-hmm. That's why he kind of has like those memorable, just really like commanding scenes. But he is one of the most terrifying, like, non-disformed characters in this movie. Like
Leatherface takes a backseat to that dude. That dude is fucking terrifying, bro.
That scene
is tense.
That scene real quick where he tells the kid to go in the back of the car and recreate the scene of the girl blowing her head off. Yeah. I was the hair just rose up on my arms, and I'm like, I forgot about all this, man. Mm-hmm. So
it's extremely tense.
Yeah. Before we get into it, guys, do you guys remember, I'll start with Q, your first time watching the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2003?
Yeah, I remember. I think I was probably in the Ann Arbor area. I went to go see it opening night at the theater. I wasn't cool enough to have a date at the time, so I seen it by myself, I think. And I was kind of scared, bro. I don't get scared in movies and shit too, but like this shit is like fucking tense, bro. I'm looking around like this shit is pretty fucking tense. I didn't expect it to be like that. And then as soon as it came out on DVD, of course I bought it. I had the flip out one, not like the one you had. It was like a red one. It had like 6 discs to it. Like I had all the extra shit to it. So yeah. That's the first time I remember seeing Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and I knew I had to own it the first day it came out on physical media. It was DVD back then. I'm showing my age. So yeah. yeah. I thought it was I thought it was the shit. So yeah.
Nice. Mac.
So I believe I was like, it took me years to get over watching horror movies. Probably like when I was at least 14, 15, I started watching them because I was a crybaby. Like I couldn't even like watch. I got forced to watch World War Z, and I had to sleep with the line on for a straight week. But when I got older and I started dabbling in the horror movies, I watched the original first, and I loved it. And I was at a point in my life I was like, all remakes are terrible. I don't want to watch this. And I watched the 2003 one, and I had the mindset of like, oh, it sucks and everything like that. But then like I started to rewatch, and like, this is actually like a good remake. Like it's actually one of the few remakes that actually is respectful. And now that I'm older and I know better, I can say that confidently. And I probably started to appreciate this film probably when I was like 18, 19 years old. It's probably like a few years ago I started appreciating it.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Okay, nice. Now, I don't know if you mentioned it, but did you watch the remake before the original or vice versa?
Vice versa. I had got my hands on the original movie, and then I kind of like around 2017 is when I got into I watched the whole series because I watched the last one up to that point, which was Leatherface, which is like a prequel to this story, because the timeline of it is so weird with the Texas Chainsaw movies, because this reboot started a whole new timeline besides the original movies. But I watched the original ones, then I did the subsequent films with that one. Mm-hmm. So my standards are already like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
we
think
talked
it's the
about.
cool thing. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah,
No, I was just to say that we kind of talked about it like offline that like that remakes don't really do it too much as far as like nailing the mark. I mean, we were kind of naming some other ones that we really didn't like, but this one, I mean, overall, it was just it had that feel. I mean, we'll get deep into it, but it definitely had that feel, that look. I think you had mentioned that they have the same cinematographer, right, Q, as the original. So it's
original
like
one. Yep.
when you can bring, some of the people behind the scenes back to kind of create that moment that just give that feel. It's a hard thing to do. I mean, if you watch, I mean, even in a 4K format, the original movie still looks like found footage shit. Like it really looks very grainy. It was shot on film, and even the transfer, and for someone to watch it with new eyes today, it still has that weird found footage look. And I mean, we'll get into the. Yeah, we'll get into the intro in a little bit, that they kind of pay homage a little bit with the black and white footage and whatnot. And creepy atmosphere, man. But I'm sorry, Q, go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, no. Yeah, actually, I was about to say, now I'm remembering when I watched the first one, I think we talked about Chainsaw Massacre. I had to be about 5 or 6. And it was always, my grandmother loved it, of course. My grandma was crazy. So, like, she loved Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And I always remember watching that movie. I didn't understand, like, do I even supposed to be watching this shit? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think I'm saying? Not like I'm a child, but like, this is like real. You know what I'm saying? I don't think I was supposed to be watching. And it was dark, and I didn't really get it. It was like, this is like some real shit. You know what I'm saying? And watch. And I had the longer version. I don't know what the hell happened to that version, but they were eating cereal, and they were like pouring beer in it and shit, and they were eating it, bro. It was like a longer version. And if it didn't really freak me out because I didn't understand it, you know what I'm saying? And of course, as I got older, I understood it though. But like, it was always a movie. It felt like I didn't supposed to be watching because it was always dirty and I couldn't really see. And you know what I'm saying? It wasn't.
You could almost smell. You could almost smell the scenes, bro.
Yeah, you can almost smell it. That's a great point. Yeah, with the chickens and shit. Yeah, like this shit, like this steak. I don't never want to be around these motherfuckers. That's what I was. That's what I was thinking. I don't never want to be around these type people, bro. You know what I'm saying?
And this movie definitely had scenes that you could smell, man, like through the thing. Like even looking at some of the people, like I think when they first are about to meet the sheriff at that what is it, like a
truck stop?
No. The next scene, it was like some old barn or something, some kind of like factory. Where they show that little kid Jebediah with the big old buck teeth, and I'm like, I could smell the foulness on this little kid, bro. Like they made everybody look really dirty and grimy.
To find Vaseline with water in the basement, and it's like, I don't know. So
they definitely recreated the look of the 70s of probably everything stunk like that. Because when you I just thought about, like, someone said, like, when I was watching a review for this, like, the smelling thing, someone was talking about Hustle and Flow, and they said, this smells like the mustiest movie ever. And I'm thinking about, like, you said that, I'm like, because I rewatched it, you said rewatch it, so I rewatched it on the weekend, and I'm like, damn, I really could smell this. Like, I feel like I'm gonna vomit watching this movie.
Whoop that trick.
Yeah. I'm just like, the smell's killing me. I can't do it.
No. There's a lot of close-up shots in this movie too, where you can see all the sweat coming off people's face and stuff, all grimy and oh god. We'll get into it, man. We'll get into it, but okay. So let's go over before we get into our likes and our dislikes. Did you guys have any favorite cast members that you wanted to talk about, or any memorable moments from the cast?
The sheriff steals the show, bro.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing.
Yeah, he steals the show. But I will say, they couldn't get a more brooding, big, scary Leatherface in any other Texas Chainsaw movie than they got in this one. You know what I'm saying? The way he looked, you know what I'm saying? Where his shoulders was, like when he started with Chainsaw, he was not fucking around, bro. He was not fucking around at all. I think the other one in the 78 one is a little scarier with the mask and stuff, and he's a little, you know what I'm saying, unhinged, not there. He's kind of almost like a big kid. He was kind of like that here a little bit too, but he was actually really, really brutal. Anytime you've seen him, you just, like, that's the motherfucker you just don't want to see. And I think Jessica Biel did. It's fine.
This is kind of like the Kane Hodder Leatherface right here, where he's all beefed up in the later series for Jason, where Jason was smaller. But no, I totally agree. By the way, that was Andrew Bryniarski playing Leatherface. I forgot to give him a shout out. We were talking about the cast, but
he was a brute, bro.
Mac, did you have any favorite actors in this movie?
I gotta give it to R. Lee because, like, I feel like with this one and then the sequel, the beginning, which is a prequel and sequel to this one, which is it's weird, but I think his character of the sheriff, it just gave that extra intimidation factor because you had the gore element with Leatherface and the rest of the family, but with the sheriff, it was more that psychological. Like you mentioned when he took the kids, like, go ahead and show me what happened to the girl in the back seat. Like you're like, oh my, okay, this guy is like unhinged, and he's like, like you knew something was up with him when he's like, hey, how'd she die and everything? He's just feeling up this girl's dead body in the backseat. I'm like, this guy is just giving me the creeps. But it's just like, I'm just like, good God. But it's like, he has such like, I was captured by what he was doing because it's like, he's just a psychopath and it works. And then when you get to the next movie, you see why he was that as the sheriff. And I feel like that he brought a lot to the movie with that.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I totally agree. And in those scenes too, it's like, you're battling with, well, you have kids that are from out of town, right? And they're coming into, passing through the town in Texas to get to this, I believe it was like a Leonard Skinner concert or some kind of, they were listening to I think it was, Freebird and Sweet Home Alabama, Leonard Skinner. So they were trying to get to this concert. So they were obviously out of towners. And even though they know there's something up with this Sheriff Hoyt, they can't really do anything because he's still an authoritative figure. Like he has a gun. They think that he's above the law. Obviously, like he's, above them or whatever, but they know he's doing wrong shit. Yeah. He goes, I got to cop a feel, every time I get these bodies, like shit that's not like, right. It's like, but what are we going to do? Like, we're not from this town, one. And it's like, he's the sheriff. Like, what can we do? You're like always battling with like right and wrong. Like, at least I think that they were, if that was in their mind, you know what I mean? But
you're trapped. You're basically trapped. He got you trapped here with him. Like you know what I'm saying? You're in this shit now. You're in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, this town. And then he's an authoritative figure. So like, yeah, you definitely ain't escaping now. And you're thinking he's the real police. Of course, the reveal, later you find out, he's part of the family. But man, you're trapped, bro. Also
the subtle like nuances, not even subtle. It's right there, but I didn't really catch it the first time around because I've only seen this remake. Maybe this might have been my third time watching it. Like I didn't even talk about, I originally saw it, I think it was on DVD, like maybe around 2005-ish. I never saw it in theaters, but this is like right when I graduated high school and I was getting into horror as well. Like I was always in the movies, but I got a lot more into horror right after high school. And I remember watching it, but after this like third viewing, I totally forgot that when he gets the gun from the girl, that blew her brains out, he just sticks it in his side holster on his leg, and I'm like, oh, she grabbed it from him. But I totally forgot about that moment. Like, and I don't even think was it Morgan and then this guy Andy, they're seeing it, and they're not even like looking at each other like, yo, this is his gun. She must have stole it from him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you kind of it kind of takes you a little bit to like, oh, they're all kind of in on it. You know what I mean? But yeah, I agree with you guys' picks. So R. Lee is great. But even more than that, I think Jessica Biel kind of killed it in this role.
That's what I'm about to say too. Yeah, that's what I'm about to say. Jessica, she did it.
As Erin, man, she brought the emotion. I was trying to see her discography really quick, or not discography,
even
but
though
like her resume.
She got everyone killed though. You know what I'm saying? It was
it's all right. She survived. It's okay. It's all it worked out good.
Hey, this girl is dead in the back. Oh, we should find some help. We gotta go to the south. Oh, fuck that bitch. Let's go. Shit is crazy.
We got concert tickets. Come on.
Yeah, we got concert tickets. It's time to go. We got concert tickets and weed. It's time to go, bro.
And it's kind of crazy. It all kind of came full circle. Like when they picked up the girl, she was like, there's a bad man, I want to go home. And she said that when the trucker picked her up too. She goes, I just want to go home. So like they use the same dialogue. It just like went full circle. But I was going to say, before this, she had a couple of movies that she was in. She was in one called Summer Catch in 2001, which
was mostly just Seven Heaven from that time.
Seven Heaven,
okay,
that's all she. And then she wanted to do more like different stuff. So then she decided to do more. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
very, very cool.
Dark history. I'm not getting into that.
Yeah. Wait, what'd you say? The Seventh Heaven. Oh, you talking about the dad. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's dark history there.
Jesus, man.
Let's keep moving.
Bro, we were just talking about this at work, man, with all the P. Diddy shit going on. Like, who's next? Because we're like, who is next? It feels like the dominoes are now falling. Like with that documentary Quiet on Set, everybody's getting exposed to like stuff that they saw in front of them, but did not speak about until 20 some years later. And the dominoes are falling, man. I think P. Diddy was a product of the 90s and 2000s, and everybody's coming out. Now they're talking about Jamie Foxx doing this and all this shit, man.
Not
and I'm
Jamie.
like, bro, I don't know
Long
about
as Tom Hanks is fine. Tom Hanks is cool, right? Shit.
I don't know about Jamie and those naked basketball parties. I don't know, bro. I know you guys heard about that. But I'm just saying the dominoes are falling, bro, and crazy shit is coming out every day about these guys.
Man, leave them alone, man. Oh well, I don't know. They did some crazy shit, but I don't know who's next.
Real life horror movies. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, real life horror movies. That Nickelodeon shit was fuck.
Yeah, for real, man. That was the ultimate.
I didn't even know. I was a little older for like Nick and you know what I'm saying, when at that time and all that. I was a little older, so I didn't know who they were, but their stories were kind of traumatizing.
They finally interviewed Kenan Thompson and about this whole thing, and he was talking about Amanda Bynes, and his lips are sealed. He's not really speaking on much, or whatever he's speaking on. He's like, I didn't see anything. Like I worked with this guy Dan Schneider, but I didn't see shit. Like when I was around him, so I don't know, man. It's kind of hard. Yeah, it's kind of hard, but all right, let's get back into Texas Chainsaw. I know it's hard to segue, but
what about Leatherface?
Chainsaw Killer.
Yeah. Into the good stuff, you know.
All right, so let me ask some of your likes for this movie before we break down some of the dislikes. So, Q, starting off, what were some of your likes for this movie, man?
One of my favorite shots in a horror movie ever, bro. Like
really?
She blew her brains out, and they pulled that camera back. And they're all looking, you can see it, and then her head drops and it comes out of the back of the window all the way to the ground. That's one of the coldest shots I ever seen.
Let's talk about that shot, man.
Yeah. I know how they did it too. We used the that same type of lens on the Laugh movie we did in Connecticut with Terry, the dude from Weekend at Bernie's. Like it's a thing that goes, you probably can see it in the trailers, like goes through the clown's mouth like that. And you know what I'm saying? You can see the hole. So that's what they use. They use a probe lens. It's like a it almost looks like a magic wand like this. You know what I'm saying? It's just a little bitty camera. And then they just pull it. You know what I'm saying? They've had to have it on rails. I don't know if they did or not, but it's fucking amazing. You can see somebody's iris with that type of lens. And I didn't know what that was at the time. I'm like, how the fuck do they do that? It's like, it's really no CG there. I mean, it's 2003. They have CG, but like there was no cut. You know what I'm saying? Like, how did they do that? You know what I'm saying? Because it comes out of the back of the car with no cut. And I don't see, you know, if you watch those one cuts like in True Detective, you could tell when it cuts, it's like a shadow go over, but like that shit didn't cut. That was an immaculate shot. And you got the gory bits of the back of her brain.
Yeah.
It was like,
my God. Yeah, and if you guys are watching this on YouTube, by the way, I'll put that scene up. But yeah, like you said, it starts from after she shoots herself, which is a slow motion, like side angle shot. We get to see everything flying out of the back of that car. And then we kind of start from the reactions of, is it Eric Belfort? Yeah, Kemper and Jessica Biel, just their reaction screaming, and then it pulls back, and then through the head, and you just see the head fall back, like, perfectly timed. And I'm like,
yeah.
What a way to open a movie.
That definitely sets the tone for like, you know, like, oh, this is different from the original because you're actually going to show like some really bloody. Because I feel like that, I feel like that was maybe something that was hinted at they wanted to maybe do in the original, because this is like a lot of the same people from the original film. So they're like, you know what, we're going to do something different. We're going to show the gore. How do we kick it off? Well, let's show this. And I think that shot, it is a good looking shot. Like it's just
great. Yeah,
it's beautiful. It's just like, it does feel like it is one take, and that's what makes it even more impressive.
Yeah, I think that is. I don't know how else they will do that. You know what I'm saying? Like you can do it probably CG now, but you're not gonna get that time in and they gonna look real. I mean, that was obviously real. You know what I'm saying? Like the hole in the back of the car, that was like that might have been CG, but I don't know. I thought that was like out of probably a lot of horror movies. That's like one of my favorite shots ever. So yeah. Absolutely, yeah. And I didn't expect that in the beginning of the movie, but I knew the hitchhiker from the other one. Like, hey, oh, you want a picture? And he was like, oh, weird shit.
I was gonna say that was the one thing that they changed that I kind of appreciated this one more because the hitchhiker is, I think, an important part of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise as a whole. He is a weird character, but once again, I don't know how that would have played in 2003. I think that this one, the survivor or the person that got away, was more impactful to the action, like you said, Mac, to set this tone of what you can expect from this movie. And it's just very impressive. Very impressive.
I agree. Yeah. I think he's right. Like Mac said, it just set the tone. Like, oh shit, we're in for some crazy shit. Now, instead of just seeing some crazy guy at the beginning, that would have worked too. But like, it really affected. Now, what are you gonna do? Your car's drenched in brains and blood. You know what I'm saying? So like,
did she pull that gun out of
my God, yes! No, I swear she must have did it. Because I'm like, where did she have that gun? She has a skirt on and just like pulls it on. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. No.
I don't know why I don't remember that the first time, but I just saw it come out and I'm like, wait a minute. And they even speak about it later. They go, yeah, she had the gun. She had it on her. And I'm like, okay, I think they had it in her.
Oh, you think it was like in her? Shit.
I mean, where else could she be holding it, bro? Those are some powerful thighs. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know. That
was a big gun to hold a hide, I guess. From I don't know, whatever. But
a loaded gun too. All right.
Yes.
You better not. Yeah, let me stop.
Well, you know what's funny is that I'm looking up the girl who played the hitchhiker. Her name's Lauren German, and I'm looking up what she did. She was in A Walk to Remember, and she was in The Hostel Part 2, and then she was Lori Weston in the second season of Hawaii Five-0, and she was also in Chicago Fire.
Interesting. Isn't A Walk to Remember like a real lighthearted movie? Like
that's the one with
that's
Mandy Moore, Shane West. Yep, that's her.
Yeah.
How do you go from that to pulling a gun out your coochie?
Yo, coochie, yeah. Hey, you got to turn it up, man. You know, these Emmys ain't gonna win themselves. So, like, Won't Remember ain't gonna do it.
Well, I mean, she could play any character in a movie. It seems like that's good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
very, very cool.
Yeah,
you got any other likes, Q?
The Jessica Biel shot. I know people give it shit. I think it's still a great shot too. You know what I'm saying? When they walking with her, you know what I'm saying? The Jessica Biel. Everybody know the Jessica Biel shot. I don't have to explain it. When she walking up to the house.
You see just full rear end.
Whoa, can I just say every shot with Jessica, I gotta keep it low because my
What about
girls over there?
Yeah, bro,
I kept saying like, oh, damn, Jessica's fine.
Bro, when she was in that the cow carcass, and then she was cold, and you see these little bitties going like, damn, all right, Justin Timberlake.
Great casting.
Yeah, great casting. And she did a great job acting. But I did like that shot, like low key.
Is she still with Justin?
I think she's still with JT.
Wow.
Yeah, she is.
British. Yeah. Yep. But I did like the shots. I really like the cinematography in this film. I thought whatever that house they picked, they happened to stumble upon it and got that house. I'm like, well, that's great. Like you said, like the interiors in the basement, like you said, you could almost smell it. The Vaseline, the water dripping. It was just, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. It was nasty. So yeah, I do like the brutal violence of this film. I'm pretty sure we'll get to a great Leatherface kill here, but I was like, I didn't expect that in this movie. It's like, well, fuck, y'all go in there, bro? Yes, bring it on. So like, yeah. So yeah, just a lot of stuff like that I like about this film. So we're
okay. Mr. Mac, what do you think about your likes for this movie?
So besides R. Lee being like the best villain in horror in the 2000s, in my opinion, I thought I'll give it Q. The cinematography is great. Like I mentioned before, it's good to have the original cinematographer, and like the shot you see with Jessica Biel walking up the house. I love that it's like that is a straight up homage to the original one. And I remember I was reading the actress. I think her name was let me see. It was Terry McMinn, who was Pam in the original one. She said she hated that shot of them just doing that with their like that side. I'm like, but everyone's like, that's an iconic like horror movie shot with that and everything. And I think that it's just a good like wink to the audience. And I like the location because they did film in Texas. I'm reading that they originally were going to do California, but many people don't know this, that Michael Bay is actually a producer in this movie.
Yeah, I know that.
This is Platinum Dunes. They did all the horror movie remakes.
They did yeah. They did the Elm Street. They did the Friday 13th. They did Amityville Horror. They did this one. So yeah. Michael Bay was putting them out.
he wanted to. He told them, "Hey, we're going to do this in Texas." And the house, it surprisingly looks like the original house, but it's just a little bit more, I guess, modernized. I guess. Yeah,
like colonial. Style, like kind of big, but it's like fucking cool looking though. You know what I'm saying? Like aesthetically.
Like I feel like this is more like, because I like it because it's in the stages of being the house that we knew it was in the original one. And I do like Andrew as Leatherface. He's probably my second favorite Leatherface. Gunnar Hansen's still my favorite. The third one is the guy from the 3D one. I thought he sucked, and then the fourth one is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. But I thought he was a very good, intimidating, like brute force Leatherface, and and the gore is amazing in this movie. Like the scenes where he's just chopping people up, everything. I think it's just they definitely were like spoiled us with gore for this one. I was like a happy boy.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So totally agree, guys.
The Leatherface reveal when he had the boyfriend's face. You didn't expect.
Oh my god!
Well, that's
accurate. How accurate was that to Eric Balfour? That really looked like his face.
Yeah. Like it looked like his face was like literally like hanging on to like bare life with that. He was like, ooh. I loved it, bro. Like that's some good makeup right there, son. Because it really like he's wearing that motherfucker's face.
Oh
and
yeah.
I was like, let's go. That
was terrifying, man.
I forgot about that one. I like that.
So for me, guys, you nailed a lot of the stuff already. So Jessica Biel, R. Lee are my favorites for the movie. Standouts, I should say. The rest of the cast is okay, but they're kind of just like early 2000s, mid 2000s, like every average cast that I would see in a movie like this. But Jessica Biel and R. Lee stole the show for me. The cinematography was really good. I think even though this is produced by Michael Bay, it didn't have that Michael Bay like shine on it. Like it wasn't like Bad Boys type of shit. You know what I mean? So,
right.
But it definitely had like that real like thick like once again going back to like we could smell these scenes like when they're walking into the house and there's all these chickens everywhere and there's like hooks hanging everywhere and like all this like meat hanging everywhere. You could hear the flies and like this is the nastiness everywhere. Was really good, and all the close-up scenes too of like everybody like in distress, or like even when they're just before the shooting even happens, when they pick up the hitchhiker, like there's a lot of close-up shots of them sweating. You could tell that it's like a humid, hot day in summer in Texas there, and that's what I want. I want to feel like I'm there, like I'm in the backseat of that van or whatever when shit's about to go down for a movie like this, I guess. And I think they really paid homage well, rather than like a Texas 3D or like even the newest one that we got in a couple years ago. But yeah, I really did enjoy that. And the gore, like you said, Mac, the gore was top notch. We'll go over some of these kills, by the way, but we got to see a lot of it. I don't know how much of it was CGI, but for the most part, it looked pretty practical. I think
a lot of the stuff they did use practical effects for this.
And that's our favorite. I mean, at least Q and I mean, how are you, Mac, when it comes to CGI versus practical? Are you a fan of both or one or the other?
I can understand the use for CGI, but I'm more of like that old school method of like, if you can film it practically, let's do it. Like I praised Evil Dead Rise last year for them using almost like 4 liters of blood and everything. And I was like, that made me love the movie even more. Like, I feel like there's some stuff you got to use CGI for, but if you can, just don't make it look fake. Like, make it look real. I'm not saying kill anyone with a chainsaw. I mean, if you want to get a human mold and do it, then we could try that. But don't. But like, I'd rather just them do as much practical effects as they can. I love practical effects.
Oh, he's one of us.
Yeah, that was a good answer. That was a test.
Yeah.
No, we love practical
artists. I'm still a practical guy. So
yeah, exactly, man. Yeah, it's just like you said, man. I mean, if they can get away with recreating this like as practical as possible, I think horror fans and even new fans will appreciate it because there's something about a practical that just looks a lot more realistic than an obvious CGI. But sometimes when there's dark scenes, you can get away with CGI and you don't even know it's CGI. But a lot of but a lot of times they'll take the cheaper way out, CGI, you know, bullets or this or blood splatter, sometimes sometimes you can absolutely just tell.
Yeah, the blood splatter, CGI blood drive is horrible.
I can relate to that because I'm a Final Destination fanatic too, and
oh my gosh,
I love the first three. Well, third one I got over time, but I like the practical effects on those with the blood and everything to kill. The fourth one I still think is horrible because a lot of those kills you can tell are CGI. And
is that the one on the bridge?
Oh no, that's the fifth one. The fourth one was where they're at the racetrack, and a lot of the behind the scenes they actually did film a lot of practical stuff, but then they decided to use CGI. And like the fourth one is just the worst looking movie because of all the fake blood spatter. It just looks cheesy. It looks corny.
Is that the one with the weights that come on one guy? Is that four?
No, that's the third one. The fourth one. The fourth one is when what's his name? Oh, he was Bubba from Forrest Gump. He was in it. He got ran over by an ambulance.
Oh, I know you're talking about. Yeah. Bubba. Yep.
He's Bubba Gump.
Well, popcorn shrimp, gumbo shrimp. Yeah.
But no, I totally agree with what you're saying, man. Sometimes, damn, that fifth one really sucked too with that whole opening, and that had David Koch in it too, who I love.
Well, I'll defend the fifth movie because I actually thought it was a improvement over the fourth one. I liked what they did at the end, connecting.
The ending is great. Yeah, the ending is great.
Oh yeah, you were showing me that ending. You were the one showing me the ending of Final Destination 5, right? I didn't even know.
Did I? It ties all the way.
Yeah, all the way beginning. Yeah, I don't think I
spoiler. I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's all right. I also watch because they're coming in with another one. Yeah.
No, not for you, for the audience.
Oh.
If you haven't seen Final Destination 5. No, I do like those movies though. They can keep making those like forever. You know, it's kind of like the Saw movies. You can keep making them. We'll keep watching them, I guess. But okay. So let me get into the last couple of likes that I had. But like I think Max said it, I really do like this Leatherface a lot. I thought he was kind of like the Kane Hodder, just a more beefed up one, and everything like the chainsaws that were swinging, like when he was hitting like the walls, when he was missing them or whatever, like I felt the weight of that chainsaw just like hit the wall. Or like when he picked up one of the characters and like slammed him on the hook, the meat hook. Oh my God. Like we saw that from the first one. That was a homage, but like you see it in there. And there's a scene where Jessica Biel's trying to get him off the hook and he keeps slipping back on. And I was like, oh my God, you really can tell how heavy a body is to pick up off of, you know, a hook like that. And then there's a lot of brutal deaths in that movie, man. And she had to kill him and stuff, and it was bad. Yeah, it was crazy. But I really did like that character that played Leatherface. And then also I mentioned early on is that the found footage found footage kind of element in the beginning. I remember when I first saw this in 2005, I don't think we fully grasped like the found footage world yet. I think my first introduction to found footage, probably yours too, Q, was, or unless you saw like maybe like Cannibal Holocaust or way back, but like for me it was Blair Witch.
Me too.
Oh, it was? Okay.
Yep. Yeah, because we thought it was real. You know what I'm saying? Like we're stupid. Yeah. Like, it's like 1999. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, look at these kids on the internet. They went to did this shit. You know what I'm saying? And then there's some movie coming out about it. And then we went to open at night because we thought it was literally real. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They did such a good job with the market. Like we're a stupid idea. We are like the internet. I call it immediately now. You know what I'm saying? TikTokers and all. You know what I'm saying? YouTubers are like, oh, we'll know, but it was no YouTube back then. And it was, it was no YouTube. We're talking about
what a good time to be alive, man. To not like spoil any. Like if you were gonna spoil a movie, you had to go talk to your friend and spoil it. Like you couldn't go online and like spoil it. Like there might have been like message boards or something like in the early days of internet,
like
but
nightmarish. Yeah, that's what it was. We had internet. We were just going message boards and investigating this murder that happened. Well, they're gonna show it at the movie, so let's see what happened to these children.
They can show it at the movies. It's like, hey, why do you think kids die in the theater? Let's see what happens.
This is what happened. This is how we'll find out. But then, like a week after the movie came out, it was a huge success. They were all fine and shit. But like, back then it was like this weird thing and shit. Like, I guess
it was cool.
when War of the Worlds, when they said that shit was really happening, aliens was invading the world on the radio and shit, and everybody was freaking out. I guess it's sort of like that, you know what I'm saying? But like, I don't know how to pull that off now.
It's kind of crazy that like you said, because of the internet, you're probably not going to experience any phenomenons like that where people try to trick someone with media or whatever. Actually, I take that back. With the deepfake technology and AI and all that shit, that might take it a whole new way where it's going to trick people online, and it's not going to be used for good, though. I'll tell you that. I mean, people think it's cool to hear all these songs of Tupac, AI, and all that. Yeah, but people are going to start using it for bad, and that's what I fear is like the next step in technology. Just using it for bad, you know. The
scary thing is it can be where you think it can be in a week from now, you know what I'm saying? That's how fast that shit move. Because look at it now, you know what I'm saying? So like in a week from now, you can have a president say crazy shit, you know, and people will believe it. You know what I'm saying? With the face recognition and everything, you see some crazy shit out there. Like, what the fuck are you doing, kid?
Oh yeah,
but yeah, it's true. It's true. That's how fast that shit move. It's scary too. So I can definitely see it happening again. It's just going to be in a different way.
And not only that,
it will be dangerous.
Yeah, not only that, information traveling so fast, but misinformation traveling so fast. You know, on Twitter every single day, you know, they have community notes on there. I don't know if you guys are on Twitter, but like they're always like either debunking if something's real, like a photo, a video, or information. And it's like the fact that even exists because people are so quick to put out what they think is happening in this news story, or they're just trying to troll somebody, you know. It's scary that because someone is going to believe this shit, you know, someone's going to see a deep fake of the president talking, saying we're heading to World War III, guys, get ready, hunker down. And someone's going to see that, send it to their grandma. And
it's over.
It's over, bro. They're going to start spreading that shit like wildfire before it gets debunked. You know what I mean? Because it travels so quick. And that's what kind of I fear is like the next evolution of like a war or something. It's going to be like it's going to be more of a cyber thing. And
cyber attack,
and a Texas Chainsaw Massacre, guys. We're back on it.
Wait,
one more segue back.
One more thing about the found footage thing. You guys mentioned you doing the Blair Witch. I guess my first introduction was Cloverfield because I remember actually with the viral marketing because I feel like, you know, when you don't know it, like. If you remember, if you saw Transformers, they just played the trailer for this movie. They didn't put a name for the movie. They didn't say who directed it. They did. I think they just said J.J. Abrams. They just said the date, which was January. Everyone had no idea what it was going to be. And I think Cloverfield, well, what's left of Cloverfield is the only one that does the whole like surprise. You don't really know what it's going to be now. And that's what I still appreciate.
I remember that, bro. I remember that because I remember just seeing a commercial come on, and it was just like these motherfuckers. They had the found footage. It was in the city, and you seen the Statue of Liberty come down. And it was cases like, what's going on? So they didn't really say what it was, though. Yeah, that was pretty dope, though. Yep.
Can I tell you guys something? So we're going back to message boards. There was a moment in 2007 or 2008 when they were about to premiere this movie when I saw this trailer, and they started that viral marketing campaign. What do they call it? Like ARG? I believe it's what it is. Where they put out like hints and like little things that have to do with the movie that's not really real, I guess.
Yeah, they like make like websites and everything, and they kind of like make you like context clues of the like lore of the universe.
Exactly. Oh, so I got really deep into that. Like I was spending hours on message boards late at night trying to decrypt. You guys remember like they were releasing all these photos of the like underwater monsters. I was that guy that was obsessed with that shit, dude. And this is in 2007, 2008. And when a movie can do that, when a movie can do that, or like a Blair Witch make you really question things, or even like a Paranormal Activity, the first one, when that came out, everybody thought that shit was real. One of the lowest budget movies grossing the biggest amount of money, right? Return.
Yeah.
When a movie can do that, I don't know if they can really replicate something like that again. There was like a moment in time, what do they call, like fire in a box or whatever they call it?
Yeah. Lightning in a bottle.
Lightning in a bottle. And it's like, those movies really did it for me. So that's why, going back to this movie, the found footage aspect of it, even if you don't think that the main movie is real, those parts really make you question the legitimacy, at least a little bit, to like, maybe not you think this is real, but it adds to the authenticity of like, oh, is this based on a true story? I remember when Texas Chainsaw came out, like even before this movie, like even in the 80s and 90s, people were talking about, was that based on a true story? Like no one really knew, you know what I'm saying? Until like people were like, yeah, this is like Ed Gein, like, taken from that story and stuff like that.
Great point. Yeah.
Yeah. So
great point.
There's still arguments to be like I make with people that like, it's based on a true story. I'm like, no, it's not. There's never been anyone in Texas that we know of that has run around with a chainsaw killing people. Like I tell people, like, this is not. It's loosely based on Ed Gein, but it's not directly a true story. My God.
Yeah. I thought Return of the Living Dead was a true story when I was a kid because they said it at the beginning. They said based on a true story. I'm scared. That's why the movie scared me. I didn't know. I'm a fucking stupid kid. Like, oh, there's dead people coming back from life from fucking tankers and shit. I'm scared to death.
That's funny.
Of course, I'm older. Like, oh no, that's stupid.
Oh, you know what I just realized too? I think we even talked about it when we talked about the movie. In Return of the Living Dead is that actor that's in Quiet on Set, that pedophile guy.
What?
Yeah,
in Return of the Living Dead.
Yes, bro, 1985. Ooh. The guy that played Brian, his name is Brian Peck, I believe. He played one of the punker guys. Yeah, he was like the top pedophile in that documentary.
Oh my God.
Look up, I believe it's Brian. Is it Brian Peck?
I didn't know that, bro.
Yep, Brian Peck right here. Scuzz.
Yeah, Scuzz, bro.
Damn.
He was arrested in 2003 for child abuse and was sentenced to 16 months of prison the following year.
And you know
the Mohawk?
Yep.
Yes.
Fuck.
And after his release from prison, he was hired to work on Disney Channel's T sitcom The Sweet Life of Zachy Cody. But
Isn't that disgusting?
He was later fired after Disney Channel executives learned of his conviction because he was he did the voiceover work.
Yeah, at least they fired him, man, because when I heard he came back, I mean, this is all in the Quiet on the Set. Have you seen that yet, Mac, or no?
I've seen clips of it. The one clip I saw that blew up was when Drake Bell talked, and I was like, oh, interesting. Okay, I got to see this. And then he mentioned Brian Peck is the one that assaulted him when he was working. I was like, damn.
Yeah, so that's kind of what it was. Q is that Drake Bell, the actor from Drake and Josh, was assaulted by this guy, Brian Peck.
Oh yeah, I didn't know he was from. I seen the documentary. I didn't know it was that guy and shit. Fuck.
Yeah, he looks so different compared to back then. So that's why I was like, I never knew.
See it now, it's like fuck. Now when Trash, the girl in Return of the Living Dead, grabbed his junk, he wasn't really into it. You know what I'm saying? Now that I think about it, like he was just acting, but he wasn't really at all into it. So.
Oh man, yeah, that was Texas Chainsaw, y'all. This is what we do, Mac. We get off on tangents, man, on shit. But
yeah, our tangents go like this. It's like the Marvel branch of Infinity, waves of possibilities. Phase
5, 6, 7, and 8 over here, man. But let's get back on it. So we talked about our likes. What do you guys? Do you guys have any dislikes for Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2003? We'll start off with Mac this time.
Oh God, to be honest, I'd say the ending's a little weak for me. The ending's a bit weak because like it definitely was an homage. Like I said homage a lot, like kind of nickel every time I say it, but it's like a reference to the original one where Sally escaped, but instead of like Erin going into a truck, she takes a car and then she's able to run over the sheriff, and Leatherface does the angry dance at the end, and I don't know, it just felt kind of weird because I will say with the performances were good, but some of the writing was a bit wonky because a lot of the character decisions was just like, we just need this to happen for the sake of the plot. Like it has its moments where it falls into the cliche horror movie tropes of like just it God, man, it's hard to explain. It's like, but you know, it's like those like cliches, and like that's, I feel like they have their moments with that. I'm trying to think of it. Example, I guess the whole there weren't a lot of jump scares, but I did hate the part where the guy was like, he reached in the car, he goes, oh my god, and then he's like, just kidding, and everything, and it just, I don't know.
It felt forced a little bit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, I totally agree, man. Like sometimes, especially in these early 2000s horror movies or even the remakes, they feel that they need to hit certain, like, or check box certain things to, like, oh, the audience will like this, or a pretend jump scare, or cheesy dialogue, or it has to have the girl with her shirt off, or, you know what I mean? Or like a little bit of gore here. And you know, we have to kind of a roller coaster of emotions, but they follow like a formulaic, you know, set number of things for a certain movie. I definitely got that as well too, especially with some of the dialogue, where even the dialogue back and forth with like the boyfriend and the girlfriend, he was talking about like, oh, I'm about to put a ring on that finger, and I'm like, oh yeah, you're gonna die. Like I do, like,
oh yeah, you're gonna die. You got a ring?
Yeah, when
you're dead.
When they talk like that, you already kind of know the foreshadowing that comes along with this stuff. Like even if you already saw the original and stuff like that, you kind of know what's going to happen to these characters and whatnot. You just kind of don't know how it's going to happen to these characters.
Oh yeah, mine goes a lot with Max. I thought that last 15 minutes was kind of like lazy at the end. Like they were hurrying up after this movie was all so fucking tense. I mean, I'm like at the edge of my seat, you know what I'm saying? What's going to go on with these teenagers? And then like, at the end of it felt a little bit rushed with all the things and with all the family members. Cause we had the mother in there too. We didn't talk about that. I don't know if she was a mother or not. And she had some grown ass kid and shit.
She was weird.
Yeah, she pretty much probably stole a kid or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, okay, that's cool. I wish we can explore that just a little bit more before we have to rush off into this next thing. And I think, of course, I love Jessica Biel. I think she was like, she was great in the film, but I think her character was that she was doing stupid shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like falling into horror movie tropes. Like, no, we're not walking in that house, bro. You know what I'm saying? We don't know. Do you see how scary this house looks? You know what I'm saying? Look like a goddamn Dracula's castle. We just gonna walk in there and ask for gas? No. That, you know, I mean, but that even happened in the 78, so we have to do that to move the plot for it though. But I just thought, I thought Jessica Biel was getting everybody killed. Like how, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like thinking like a rational person a little bit, you know, and you know what I'm saying, and go to the next thing. Like, nope, you know, like when they seen the aliens and they was like, nope, I ain't fucking with that. So I like shit like that, you know what I'm saying? It makes more sense. But I did love her character at the same time. And I thought, like I said, I think that that third act is just a little rush. I wasn't really satisfied at the end when I seen Leatherface with his one arm, and it was like, I like, that's all right, but like, damn, it's not as cool as, you know, with the dancing in the street with a chainsaw. I love that. I mean, like, God, it don't have an impact. This movie, as good as it is, won't ever have an impact like the 78 one. You know what I'm saying? Granted, it was the original though, but you know what I'm saying? It's just, you know, that kind of changed filmmaking forever, even though this is a fucking great one. But it won't have this 2003 one won't have that super impact like the 78 one, even though people argue that this one's better than the 78 one, and people was like, hey, I won't watch this one because of the remake thing. It's almost cool to say remakes are whack before you even give it a fair shot. So those are just some of my dislikes of this film. It's not a lot, but it's just a couple nitpicky things here and there.
Why'd she take the baby? I just realized that.
Yeah, she took
she just took the baby. Like, I know the baby was probably not theirs. What if it was theirs? She just took their baby,
bro. Fuck that baby. And fuck this film. The baby could be a killer. You know what I'm saying? The baby could be a bona fide killer.
You guys remember they showed the picture of the baby with the other family that was killed off? Yeah. Like so it wasn't their baby for sure. They took it from someone else.
But it was hanging around long enough that it became a killer.
Oh, they wanted a decent looking baby because look what happened to Jedediah, whatever the fuck that kid's name was, like, with the damn teeth. With the damn teeth looking like this.
Oh yeah, that was coming all sideways.
Hey, that was an ugly kid, man. Come on.
Yeah, it was dirty.
They wanted to restart. They wanted to restart on that.
It looked like he was like rolling around in the swamp and shit. Like, what the bro?
That's a kid like your parents said don't go near when you're hanging out in the neighborhood.
He got lice.
Yeah,
bro. You see him poking the body when he was poking the body in the car.
That was gonna happen to that baby if it stuck around long enough. You knew it was.
Yeah, and the guy's like, "Hey, get away from there, you little mutant!" And then, and he like takes the stick away from him, and the kid like runs like a little fucking hobgoblin, like a little troll.
Oh man!
It had some weird parts that I kind of appreciated, and then I was like, man, I really wish we could have gone with a couple of different scenes. Like for me personally, in the original, and I don't think it's unnecessary to compare the. I know a lot of people go, "Oh, with remakes, just kind of take them as they are." And no, not necessarily. I mean, there's so many people from the original involved in this behind the camera, so yeah, there's a little bit of homage thrown in there, but I wanted to see scenes not completely changed. Like I'm such a fan of the dinner scene tension. And yeah, there's tension in this movie where like she goes to use the phone and the grandpa goes, "Oh, he can't go in there." I'm guessing he was the grandpa. I mean, was he supposed to be the grandpa that was? Remember the original grandpa was like 185 years old. I mean, like, come on now, like,
hit her, grandpa. Hit that bitch.
That scene was terrifying to me because it was so bizarre and psychotic. Like I could imagine a family out there in the middle of nowhere doing some shit to a person that they just captured. But in this one, it was just like, "You stay right there, boy." And he had like his stick or whatever, and he was like holding the guy, and the guy's like, "All right, don't shoot, boss." Like the tension wasn't there too much with that character. So like I could have done without that character. Or like the lady from the store, she was like calling the sheriff, like I'm guessing she was the mom of those boys of the sheriff and whatnot. He really kind of did. There was some characters that just didn't do it for me. Like a lot of the friend group didn't really. The caliber of acting wasn't really there. But I did fear like when they were being hunted down by Leatherface. Like I wanted them to get out, and like when they were close to like getting away, I believe the character of Andy. When he's going through all those, the clothes that are hanging up or whatever, and then he gets his leg sawed off. The first time I saw that, I was not expecting that because I was like, how the hell did Leatherface get in front of him? He was right behind him.
That was a miracle swing, and he got it.
Yeah. So little things like that. But I think the biggest gripe for me was like, you guys nailed it. The last 15 minutes of this movie fell out of place. Like it was like a rush job, or maybe they went back and they're like, "We got to shoot some more shots, guys. Like it's not scary enough to just end it with her getting away with the baby or whatever." So that whole scene in the meat factory, I don't know, it just didn't do it for me. Like the tension wasn't there. And when she's hiding in the locker and then she starts hacking him, like,
yeah, and I was like, no,
bro, he was just standing there like, oh, I'm like, what? Why would Leatherface just allow that like to happen? Like didn't make no
He's
sense.
Like 7 feet tall, bro.
That's like what was it in one of the older ones when the girl's like, show me how you can use that thing, and the chainsaw would start up, and I was like, man, it was just like, oh, this girl's hacking me. Oh no, stop it. Ow, come on. I will add too with Leatherface, another thing that I kind of didn't like was that if you're a Texas Chainsaw fan, you gotta love when he slams the door, like the sliding door, like that.
Oh yeah.
I thought this one, it was just a very weak one. I think Gunnar Hansen, the original one, he has the best like the slam, like it's just
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And this one was just like he got the boyfriend and he's like, yeah.
He was struggling with that door, huh?
To be so big, how you struggling with that door? Yeah. Hanson had it. He was like, oh.
I did like when he popped up behind him and kind of hit him in the back of the head, because that downward angle was different than the original shot that we got, where it was just kind of from behind and like one? Yeah, the original 78. The original 78 one is terrifying because you do not expect that to pop up like that. Mm-hmm. But there's something about a downward that has to be a Michael Bay shot too. These downward angles, but like. Mm-hmm. He's right behind him, and the once again the force of, I don't know if he hits him with his hand or with I think he actually hits him with like with an object or something, and it seems like he just killed him right there, even though he didn't. But it seemed like he hit him so hard, and that was a pretty. There's a lot of good shots and a lot of not so good shots in this movie, but I remember liking it a lot more. Huh?
That 78 was like he was killing a wild pig. It's like, dude, he opened the thing like, dude, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, he's like,
was he like twitching around and stuff? Yeah.
Yeah, it was like, what? What's going on? You should walk in the house.
With Leatherface, with this one, I feel like more he's like, there's always that sense of like Leatherface. They say he's like mentally like disabled, like he can't really think, so he's doing what his family wanted to. With this one, I will say that I kind of wasn't a fan of was like how they made him more of like, I guess they lost like that sense of like, wait, why am I trying to humanize Leatherface?
Like they humanize him?
No, yeah. Like it makes it like there's not like a nuance to him. He just kind of seems like a big like, oh, there's the iconic slasher guy. But I like the fact like in the original one where he had a moment where he sat down, he like, yeah, like that made it more like he doesn't seem like he's there. He just wants to protect his family. And I just feel like they didn't really do that with this one. I mean, the only other scene they had it was when he took off his mask and it's like this deformed like face. That was his face was pretty cool, but I was just like, okay, that's random. Like you think to like, I guess like, but you should never take off his mask. Like Leatherface mask is iconic. Well, his masks are iconic. You should not take off his face at all.
Yeah,
I agree.
No, I totally agree. And I love all of our mass slashers. And like even though like I love Jason, I mean, in the later movies, he takes off his mask, you get to see what it is, but that's a good design. I think that, well, I mean, you don't ever see Michael Myers take off his mask. You see like the weird ass masks that progress throughout that series, and you get to see like his eyes and the big old eye holes and stuff. But with this one, to me, I feared him a little less when he took off his mask, even though he did look really weird. I don't even know what I was looking at. Like, was I looking at like a like, it kind of looked like his nose cut off and like, I don't know what his face looked like.
He looked like
skeleton a little bit.
No, he looked like one of the ghouls from Fallout.
I've never seen that. I don't
the ghouls are like they're like radiated people who survived the blast and like they have no nose, and it's like he looked like one of the ghouls like with his face.
Oh wow, I gotta look that up. Yeah, it kind of, when you show something like that, I don't know. So it's either a hit or miss. If the design is not 100% there for me, I just kind of fear it less. I get sucked out a little bit, but yeah, it was okay. I mean, the whole stitching of the the different faces that he had were pretty realistic looking, I guess, at least for 2003. And I was entertained. I mean, I was pretty much thoroughly entertained with this movie. The kills were cool. We got a lot of actual like on-screen kills. We got some that kind of cut away, like that girl Pepper they showed got killed with the chainsaw. They didn't really show it. You know what I mean? So like you just hear people screaming and stuff like that, but like the leg getting cut off, the sheriff getting run over a bunch of times is really cool because you root for deaths like that, right? Characters that you want to see die. You want to see him die, like not just hit one time. She ran over him like 3 times. Like he got hit initially and then ran over 2 more times. So it's like I was satisfied with that. You know what I mean? So
Arlie's 2 best roles. He died in Full Metal Jacket when he got shot, and then he gets run over and chainsaw. Like that's, and I feel like with the ending, like with it being like so disappointing, I feel like they were trying to make up for that with the sequel. Do you think that with how the sequel ended with Jordana Brewster?
Oh, in the original?
Yeah. Oh no. The second one
movie.
they had. The second prequel one that.
Oh, which was the second prequel one? I forget the order of it.
The new beginning, which came out in 2006, or the beginning.
I don't know if I remember even seeing this one. Oh yeah, it has. So this had all the original guys, like you said. So you're saying that this is a prequel?
Yeah. So the beginning is like, it's weird how they did it. So they did this one, and this started off a new timeline because the original one, they were the Sawyers. So for this timeline, they're the Hewitts. So what they did is that they're like, okay, well, this is a remake. We're going to do our own story. So we have this one, and that kind of goes over the events that we see. But then the beginning actually takes place in like 1969. And like it follows everything before it, and you kind of learn more about the characters and everything like that. And the ending is a lot more like something I would have probably thought in the first one, but they were probably like, man, that's too dark. But it kind of makes sense for this one because it is how they become who they are, and it explains how they got to that point. And I feel like there was interesting elements of that, but it just wasn't a good one.
You know what? I've never seen this movie.
It's
I haven't seen that one in Leatherface. I haven't seen that one too. The newer Leatherface one, because they came out Leatherface Check Chainsaw 3. That was called Leatherface. And then it was I haven't seen the newer one. Yeah.
The one that he's talking about, that's the one with Brad Dorff, right? Or Steve? Is it Brad Dorff or Steven Dorff? I forget the guy from
Steven Dorff.
Blade.
He's in 2017. Yeah, that one was okay. Like I like they tried to, because it's like it's another prequel movie, but you follow like a younger teenage Leatherface, they try to make him like a suave, handsome man. I'm like, yeah, no, I don't buy a Leatherface as someone who can be like, well, not my side, madam. No, I don't buy it. But that one was my last like good Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, because the Netflix movie, I hate the Netflix movie so much. Oh my god! I'm
glad we're all on agreeance of that one.
Yeah, I don't like that one.
So I always ask this question to Q. I'll ask it to Mac first. So Mac, the budget for this movie was only $9 million, $9.5 million, which is actually very respectable for all the stuff that we got in this movie. About an hour and 40 minutes, something like that. What do you think it made at the box office overall?
I was looking at it on Wikipedia. So I think I was gonna like it made like over $100 million, because if we're talking about the financial legacy of this movie, it did kick off all the remakes. So they're like, oh, there's money to be made. So they're like, cool.
Do you know Platinum Dunes was a part of the sequel or the prequel to this one, I guess?
Yeah. They did all the ones we mentioned earlier, like Friday the 13th and 99 on Elm Street. That was all their movies that they did. And quality may vary, because I think that Nightmare on Elm Street movie is terrible.
Oh god.
Yes.
That'll be on the list of terrible remakes, bro. Like one of the worst.
That's one of the worst. That's one of the worst ever. Yeah.
Okay, so you looked ahead, man, at the Wikipedia. Huh?
I'm so sorry. I was like I got my notes right here, and I was like, I need extra notes. I was like, bet I got this right here.
Yeah. So even though that we liked it overall, I think I don't know if what do you do your rating system out of, Mac? Out of 5 or out of 10?
Actually, recently I changed my rating systems to letter grades. So
okay,
I'd probably like, if I were to add this movie to like my 31 Nights of Halloween I do in October, I think I'd probably give it at least a B-.
Okay, that's a pretty good score. What do you think, Q? What would you give this?
It's tough, man. It's a great slasher film, and it actually really shows respect to the old Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but actually doing something like on its own too, you know what I'm saying, to make it stand out, you know what I'm saying, on its own. It's a really, it's probably one of the best remake horror movies of all time, I think, you know what I'm saying?
And that's because there's so many shitty ones.
Yeah, it's because there's so many shitty ones. Unless we're going back to the 80s and we're talking about The Fly and The Thing. Right. Shit, bro. If I'm honest, if it wasn't for that ending, this movie will be like almost a 5. But like, I'm gonna give it a 4.5 out of 5. Man, I really enjoy this one. I think it's fire, bro. I think it's an actually competent, scary ass remake, and of course with the sheriff, bro. Like characters are good. You know what I'm saying? That shot, it's one of my favorite shots in a horror movie, when that, when she shoots herself and that gun comes up on the back of her head, and like you said, it sets the tone. And Leatherface is brutal in this one, like brutal, like cutting people's legs and shit off and shit, and putting them on hooks. The first one's a 5 out of 5, of course, because of what it's set and and of course the impact. But like me speaking as a horror fan, as a slasher fan especially, it's a 4.5 for me. I'm just gonna leave it there.
Very, very. No. Speak your truth, man. For me, it's definitely a 4 out of 5. Even though I had a lot of dislikes, they were very nitpicky. I would have done a little, things a little differently, but that's okay. Just personal preference. But I'll give it a 4 out of 5. Letter grade, probably like a B+, if I had to. And I think we're giving it a better score than most people, because Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 37%. Based on 159 reviews. I mean, you take Rotten Tomatoes as you will. I definitely don't agree with a lot of the stuff that they give. Oh man, they gave like Winnie the Pooh, the part 2, like a high 100%
rating. 100%.
That was like 100%. And this is the same site that I've done research that the 2011 remake of Footloose has a higher score than the original Footloose.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
I forgot they even remade that. Yeah.
Hold up, I'm gonna look this up real quick on Rotten Tomatoes.
How's that happen? How's Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake at a 37%? That don't even make any sense.
I'm saying, bro, how do they give Winnie the Pooh a Blood and Honey 2 100%? Go look at Jeremy John's review on that shit, man. He actually gave it an honest review. But
damn. Yeah, I'm gonna look at his.
But yeah, it's interesting because the audiences gave this a B plus score, B plus grade. So I think it was one of those audience scores definitely favoring it, more than the critics or whatever. But
yeah, 37. That seems like a little.
That
low.
is
That
low.
seems like Poltergeist or something. You know what I'm saying? Or
by the way, real quick. So some of the remakes that we didn't announce that were around this time were House of Wax, The Wicker Man, The Omen, Halloween, which one was that? The Rob Zombie?
Rob Zombie.
Okay.
Yeah.
My Bloody Valentine 3D, Friday the 13th, A Nightmare on Elm Street, and it says Child's Play, but that must have been the later 2019 one. Yeah,
with the My Bloody Valentine and Friday the 13th, why did we have both supernatural stars in both those movies? Jared was in Friday the 13th, and Jetson was in My Bloody Valentine. That always baffled me that both supernatural guys are in both of the Platinum Doom remakes for the horror movies.
Oh shit, I didn't even know that.
And My Bloody Valentine is like a guilty, that 2009 one is such a guilty pleasure because I know Carter from Final Destination is in that movie. Kurt Smith.
My Bloody Valentine, not Valentine. We watched on Valentine's Day.
No, that was fun. My Bloody one.
Oh, you like that one, Mac?
I like Valentine. Yeah, I actually like it.
Oh, we should have had you on for that. We hated it.
I like it. It's like I thought it was an interesting premise. I did think it was dumb that his only story is my nose becomes bloody, and then it's like the ending of oh, I got you. I was the actual killer the whole time.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my god, but it's a guilty pleasure movie for me.
Yeah, that's funny. All right, and that is Texas Chainsaw, man.
I like it.
I think we like it overall. Jessica Biel, Eric Balfour. I think it would have been cool to watch in theaters though for me for sure. I'm kind of sad that I didn't get a chance. I watched it years later on DVD or whatever, but I'm glad I watched it, and it led to a lot of Platinum Dunes remakes and shit, and I mean remakes are still happening. That phenomenon of remakes is still happening. It's a gift and a curse because I love to see the slashers that I grew up with brought to a new audience basically, but they got to be done well, and with everybody skimping out on practical, they go into CGI. That's why I love Terrifiers and all that shit, because they try to go practical as possible. There's also, and nobody ever talks about this, have you guys ever heard of a company called Necrostorm?
I don't think so. No.
Okay. I believe they're an Italian company, but it's overseas, and their gore is out of this fucking world. It is so insane, but they're very, very low budget. I'll send you a couple of clips or whatever, but they're trying to become more mainstream. They're gorier than Terrifier.
Wow.
I'm putting it out there. If you guys like gore, check out Necrostorm. The only thing is though, it's like dubbed and stuff like that because it's from overseas, but I don't know how they're doing it, but it is a combination of good CGI, practical, different 3D rendering on the faces and stuff like that. And that goes back to what we were talking about of CGI versus practical. I'm actually a fan of both if you can make them work together. If you can make them coincide, a practical head mold, but then CGI maybe more gore around it. So it's seamless, I'm all for it. But
yeah. I think Jurassic Park, when that T-Rex escape is one of the best directed scenes of all time, mixed with practical and CG at the same time.
Oh
that real dinosaur is biting the car. When it's looking in the car like this with the eye, that's real shit, son. When it's escaping in the rain, that's CG, obviously, and when it's running. But I think that's one of the best directed scenes. I mean,
that was 91, huh?
Yeah, that's 90, and it still stands up today. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So,
bro, how did they make that movie 91? And then I think 91 was also Terminator 2, right? Or
Terminator
92?
2. No. Drax Park's 93. I think Terminator 2 is either 91 or 92.
I think it was 92.
Yeah.
Shit, man. The early 90s, man. Man, Cameron and fucking Steven Spielberg were killing it.
Yeah. Stan Winston Studios. They were killing it. R.I.P. Stan Winston.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Mac. You survived another an episode of Why Won't You Die, a horror podcast, man. Thank you so much for joining us talking about Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I'm glad to have you on because I didn't know that you were such a chainsaw head, man.
Oh my God, I love it. And also, can I give a shout out to Platinum Dunes? Their upcoming films is going to be Quiet Place Day 1, A Quiet Place Part 3, a prequel to Rosemary Baby with Apartment 7A, and then Christopher Landon movie called Drop.
Wow, I didn't know about any of that stuff. I mean, I knew about Quiet Place, but I didn't know that they were involved. That's cool.
Damn, that's 3 was coming out too. I thought I didn't know. So we got this one with the Peter Luongo coming out. Then we have another one.
Yep, that's the third one because this one, the one is going to be a prequel. Then the next one's going to be the third movie.
Okay.
Oh, they're jumping back to the third after that. Okay. Damn. All right, man. Are you checking out any movies this past weekend or anything you can recommend to our audience?
I just saw Godzilla X Kong, and I gotta say that is like, God, I love monster movies. Like, I remember let's just say I found a way to watch Godzilla -1. I'll leave it at that. I didn't get to see the theaters, and like, I was like, damn, I forgot I love kaiju movies, and like when I saw the trailer for Godzilla Kong, I was like, yep, I gotta watch it. And I watched it, and it hit me of like, this is so dumb, but I love it so much, especially like you just see a one arm like mechanical arm Kong with a pink lizard fighting a Monkey King and an Ice Titan Hollow Earth. I'm just like, you know what? You win. Let's do this. Like, screw, because the last movie I saw in theater was Madam Web, so I needed something to help me out.
Oh my!
I haven't seen that. I don't know.
Well, I'm not gonna watch it.
It's at home, so it's dirt cheap. So if you can find it, watch it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know. I'll be gonna watch it.
Did you get a chance, Mac, to watch Late Night with the Devil yet?
I want to. I read that when it came out Sunday that the box office was literally $666. I was like, that is dope.
Yeah. I think that was a troll. Yeah, that was a troll.
Oh, but I do want to watch it though. I want to check it out.
It'll be on Shudder April 19th.
Yeah, in a couple weeks.
Yeah, in a couple weeks. You just watch it on Shudder if you want. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to some of the good new movies too. But I mean, until then, we're talking some old school movies and remakes and stuff like that. But
I see Monkey Paw tomorrow, so I'll let you know.
Monkey Man. Monkey Man, not Monkey Paw.
No, isn't it called Monkey Paw? Or is it?
No, that's Jordan Peele's production company.
Oh, that was that's a good one to end it. I thought you were talking about the 80s movie Monkey Paw.
You remember that shit, Monkey Paw? Yeah.
Oh my God. There's so many like monkey type movies coming out. We got Godzilla, Kong, we got Monkey Man, and then we have Planet of the Apes. It's like, I don't know what's going on anymore this year.
Oh man.
The year of the monkey, man. The year of the ape.
Yo, I would have said Monkey Paw on my review, and people would have cussed me out a lot. But, like, we just gonna forget he said Monkey Paw like 4 times. Yeah.
I get those brain fart moments too, man. Don't worry about it.
Oh,
But that's it, guys. Thank you so much for joining us, whether you're watching on YouTube or listening on your audio podcast app. Make sure to check out Mac. I'm going to leave all his links down in the description below so you guys can follow him on all of his platforms. Thank you so much, Mac. And that being said, we are gone, man. You guys have a good night. Peace.
Why won't you die? No!